Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy DNALI, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it for what I'm going to call a much anticipated video, man. Now, a lot of you guys know I recently just got this car tuned, and a lot of guys were wondering exactly what mods I have done to the car. I have been compiling a list over the time that I've owned this car, which is going on just about 3 years now. And what I wanted to do today is just go through the list of the parts that I have. Now, I will be putting links to videos that I've done in the past on the stuff that I've installed, or links to the websites that you can go and buy the parts that I'm talking about. I'm going to do my best to leave the links down in the description, but I guess what we're going to do first and foremost is start with performance mods, and I guess we will start with the exhaust, which in my opinion is the easiest way to unlock power with this car. Now, this thing has Manzo eBay test pipes, which basically removes the catalytic converter. This also has a Manzo eBay Y pipe. I did do a couple of videos on those before and after getting the installed. This car also has a 350Z resonator on it, which for you sedan guys know, the sedan resonators are huge, so that is pretty much the same as what's on the G35 coupes, gives you a nice sound. And we also have a vibrant, ultra quiet resonator at the back. Now, the reason I put that on is when I had my car initially, just the 350Z resonator and the muffler delete, it was perfect. We got them test pipes and the Y pipe on, and it was just too obnoxious, too loud. So I went ahead, put that ultra quiet resonator. So we're actually rocking 2 resonators. And of course, we got those big Godzilla 4-inch tips coming out of the back. Now, as far as the intake, you guys know me, I went full Frankenstein. We actually did a custom airbox mod where I basically hacked up the stock box so that I could fit a 3-inch K&N filter on there. I basically deleted the resonator for the intake and added a tube. I guess you could call it a Z tube, but it's just an aftermarket intake pipe. And I also did a snorkel that just comes from the right side of the bottom slat in the front bumper, and that directs the air directly into the box. So I have the stock intake points as well as that 3-inch ram. I also have a plug for it, so I can plug that up when it starts to rain and I won't get any water in there. And also something that's not exactly part of the intake, but I did add a oil catch can, which goes into the plenum, so I'm just gonna group that all into one piece. Now, what that does is just catch all the excess oil that's going back into the plenum to be reburned, keeps the engine much cleaner, and in my opinion, just, you know, helps with all the crap that's gonna come out of the exhaust. Next up, we're gonna get into engine mods. Now, when I was given my tuner, my list of engine mods, I actually realized that I don't have a whole lot done to this engine. Mods that we do have done to the engine are a 5/8 blocks plenum spacer. Now, obviously, you guys know that the 5/16 is going to be the best spacer for the DEVQ, but I got the 5/8 spacer quite a while ago. It's such a good deal. Threw that on. It's been working out great so far. I also have the 75mm big bore throttle body kit. Now, that's not an NWP kit, but it's very similar. I just have a custom conversion plate. I think it's a 09 plus Maxima throttle body, and then I did have to get the NWP, I believe it was, conversion harness in order to make all that work. And in my opinion, it was a good mod. A lot of guys say unless you're doing a bigger intake, it's not really going to do much, but I got it for such a good deal, I decided to throw it on anyways. And now, as far as keeping the engine stable, I have a Stillen replica torque damper. Now, a lot of you guys might remember that video. We installed that. That basically ties the front of the timing chain cover to the side, I guess you could call subframe of the car, and that helps with the engine when it's, you know, when it's under load. It's gonna stop that engine from moving as much as possible. And in my opinion, I had the racing line inserts on my Altima, and in my opinion, something like that, getting the motor mounts a little bit stiffer, is a must in putting the power down, because it just helps the engine stay stable and just allows allows that power to go straight out the back of the transmission as opposed to you losing it with the engine flexing and torquing when you're trying to give it gas. And of course, to finish off the engines, like I said, there's not a lot of actual engine mods done to this car, but I did go ahead and get the Uprev tune, which unlocked about 20 horsepower for me. And then you guys know that I also added on that ARC launch control two-step, which you guys have seen some footage of me at the track with that. If you haven't, check the channel, man. That video should be not too far behind this one. And that was really what tied everything together, really woke up the car. We lifted up the red line just a little bit more. And as you can see, that two steps really helping me dial in my launch. So that was, in my opinion, I should have done that a long time ago, probably at the beginning of this summer. I probably would have had a lot more fun this summer. But that's pretty much it for the engine. Now I guess we will get into the transmission. I am rocking a stock 6-speed transmission on this thing, upgraded clutch and flywheel. I have a Clutchmaster Stage 1 clutch on here and an XTR chromoly lightweight flywheel. Now I originally bought the Clutchmaster kit off the Clutchmaster website, realized it didn't come with a flywheel, so I went to my favorite parts site, eBay, got the XTR. I was a little unsure about it at first with it being an eBay part, but I figured it's just a solid piece of metal. What's the worst that can go wrong? And to be honest, that entire setup has really been solid for me. I perfected driving a manual on this car and have beat the living hell out of it since I put that setup on it, and it has just, it hasn't slipped one bit. There's a lot of wood here, I should probably be knocking on some, but it's just been a solid setup, and I would highly recommend that. Next up, I guess we'll move to suspension and tires. A lot of you guys know I am rocking those Tien street basis coilovers, and to be honest, they've been a pretty solid dailyable coilover. Now, if I were to take this thing a little bit more seriously, drifting or on the track like circuit racing, they would probably not really make the cut. Now, the biggest problem for me with the street basis coilovers is that you don't have the dampening adjustability that you would off of a true coilover setup. All you really have is height adjustment for the back, and you have height adjustment for the front, but when you adjust the height, you're also adjusting the spring preload. Now, I have these slammed right now as it sits, and to be honest, it's really very dailyable. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's low enough to look good. The only problem is that it's just not that stiff when you're going around corners. It's more of a daily street coilover. If you guys want something for the track, I'd recommend a true coilover setup and just a little bit more adjustability. Tires, we are rocking these 350Z track wheels. Now, I got these wheels, oh man, 6-7 years ago now for like 125 bucks. You guys know they've been on the Ultima. They've been plasticated black, gold, white, and I mean, for me, I just bought these wheels because they were cheap, but they've really grown on me over the years, and everyone keeps telling me it's time to upgrade the wheels, and I do agree, but I mean, I'm gonna have to find something that, a relatively good price point to justify me switching up these bad boys, which in my opinion, I absolutely stole. So 350Z 8-inch wide wheel, I think plus 35 is the offset on these, so gives you a nice little stance, and I think the weight really goes well with the car. Now, as far as tires, we are rocking the Continental 225 45 R18s all around, nice square setup. Now, this is a bit of a Conti Pro. I'm pretty sure these are an all-season tire. They've been great for me. They're really good in the rain. Even with me going out to the track, obviously, you guys saw me. I made them work there. We got the car to run the times that we wanted. So this setup has been pretty good. Nothing too aggressive, just your basic all-season tire. And to tie up the rear end, when I first started taking this car out to drag race and track racing and stuff like that, I noticed a huge flaw, and that was the wheel hop. So we do have white line poly differential bushings in the back. I believe that's a 3-piece kit. It helped a little bit, but had I known it wasn't going to help that much, I probably would have went with a solid bushing setup. Now, my biggest issue was I just didn't want it to vibrate like crazy back then. When I first got this car, I was dailying it. Now, obviously, it's a garage queen, and you know, in my opinion, they helped. But if you really want to get rid of that wheel hop, I'd recommend solid diff bushings. But I'm going to be experimenting with a couple different tire setups and maybe adjusting the suspension next year when I go back to the track to hopefully help with some of that wheel hop. So that's it as far as the suspension and tires. Now we're going to get into more of the exterior and just aesthetic mods. So first thing I did as soon as I got this car was I plasti dipped the trim, door handles, and the front grille. Rear badge is black. Now I know a lot of people don't really like plasti dip. They say it's garbage and it doesn't hold up. This plasti dip's been on here for, I mean, since I got the car. I did it like the first week just because I really didn't like the look of it. The chrome, I think the all blacked out looks much better, and it's held up great. So yeah, don't knock the plasti dip. If you do it right, it can last a very long time. Then you guys know we did a custom set of front side splitters, basically just accents that go on each side of the front bumper, and they turned out great. We also did a set of side splitters made out of the same material. Now I do sell these if you guys are in the GTA. Side splitters on here looking very nice. Also, you guys know we did that custom rear diffuser. So all the aero here pretty much cost me nothing, just materials. The metal for the rear diffuser I ended up getting from a buddy, so that didn't cost me anything. Videos to all of this stuff, you know, like I say, look down in the description, and I should be putting links to all this stuff. But yeah, rear diffuser turned out great. It's not exactly everyone's cup of tea, but I really think that it makes the back of this car look super aggressive. And I look back at pictures without it, and it looks super naked. So, you know, I like the way that it looks. And of course, the creme de la creme to this whole build, really what a lot of people are interested in seeing when they see this car in person, is the duckbill trunk. That is 100% custom, built from a just spare trunk that I had bought online. There's a 4-part video playlist that I have online that I'm going to definitely link down in the description. That was kind of a pain in the ass to build, but I did learn a hell of a lot doing it, and I mean, it just turned out, you know, as good as I could have imagined. I didn't think it was going to turn out that great, and I really think for the price that I paid and what it would cost me to import a outcast garage trunk into Canada, I think that I really, you know, that was a good purchase and project for me. Like I say, really sets off the look of this car, and it's, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best things that I've done to this car since I've owned it. And last but not least, for the exterior, you guys know that I just did that custom vented hood. Again, for me to get the VIS hood online, shipped here to Canada, although it would have been authentic carbon fiber, it would have probably cost me over $1,000. And I did that vented hood for pretty much $0. I had a spare hood from the winter beater G35, which we had last winter. And, you know, the hood, in my opinion, once again, really ties the whole look of the car together. I look at pictures without the hood, and I just think it looks very plain and bland. And, you know, it's, even though it's less practical, obviously the rainwater can get in there a little bit easier. In my opinion, it's well worth it to, you know, to live that race car life. And now I guess we will move into the interior. To be honest, I really haven't done anything interior-wise. Added a shift knob, stainless steel polished shift knob from Origin Machine Works. They are here local in the GTA. They should be on Instagram, just search them up. Then I also added some LED color changing kind of ricer lights just under the driver and passenger footwell. I've always, you know, just liked the lights and being able to change the color based on my mood. And that's pretty much it for the interior. I did have the seat bottoms removed, and the full trunk is gutted with no spare anything like that. So that kind of helped with the weight savings at the track. And last but not least, I guess we will get into lighting. Now this thing has 10,000K HIDs for my low beams, a 3000K yellow halogen DRL and high beam bulb, 30% tint on the headlights. These stock headlights were kind of chrome, didn't really like them. And 05, 06 sedan taillights on the back as opposed to the 03, 04, which are just straight lines across. So these ones give it a nice GTR look. I really enjoy the look of those taillights. I'm really glad that I picked those up. And with that being said, I mean, that's pretty much the list. I you know, spent quite a few weeks trying to think of different things that I missed, and I'm pretty sure that I got every single thing that I have done to this car so far. Now, obviously, future plans for next year are to get a nice sticky set of tires that I can use specifically for the track. I think that's really gonna help us bring that time a little bit lower than what it is right now. Since I won't be driving this thing for the winter, you know, if I come across a turbo kit or a supercharger kit, I do have a budget set for something like that. And obviously now that I have the garage built, I'm able to do the work that I need on my own, and I have the space, the time to do it now. So, you know, in the future, if I can find something that fits within my budget, we are probably going to be doing, obviously a supercharger, a turbo kit would be ideal for this car. But with newer, faster cars coming out more and more, you know, for me to spend money on this car, which is relatively old at this point, it might just be more cost efficient to go out and buy something that has a little more power and tunability right out of the box. But I mean, for the time being, I'm just going to enjoy this car, you know, keep it nice and pretty for the winter. Next season, I'm planning to get out there a lot more. Now, I'm still on the hunt for a new daily. I do need something for wintertime. I'd like just another project. You guys know we kept busy with the beater G35 last winter, and without that car, there really wasn't much going on with this one specifically last winter. So I kind of want to get something like that this winter to keep me busy. So yeah, stay tuned. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, you know, I'm just going to try to keep the videos coming, keep things interesting. I do have a couple projects that I will be tackling throughout the winter, so definitely stay tuned. If you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button. You know, this one was long awaited. A lot of guys wanted to know exactly what's done to this car. I did a video similar to this with the Altima back in the day. You know, it was pretty popular, so I figured we'd do it again with the OG. Now, before I end this video, I just want to give a big shout outs to SoCal G for showing all the support, man. They're always, you know, they've just been real supportive with the channel and the build. So definitely go ahead, check them out on Instagram, check the website, get yourself some dope slaps. Some hoodies, they got some fresh gear there, and also Strictly VQ. You guys know that those are my local homies. We're always doing barbecues, meets, and stuff like that. Join the Facebook page to keep up to date with everything that's going on with the local Strictly VQ guys, man. But yeah, it's gonna be winter time here soon, so I'm just buckling down. Figured I'd get this video done before it gets too cold to do it in a sweater. But with that being said, I'm feeling like this one's getting awfully long. So as always, I am your boy, DNALI, aka Don Squally, and we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace!